My name is Arthur Miller. I'm 81 years old, and I live in Queens, New York, in an old neighborhood where the houses still have wrought iron fences and sidewalks buckled by tree roots. Last week, my son Michael called me and said, with that careful voice sons use when they think they're being gentle, "Dad, we need to talk about your living situation." I already knew what that meant. This conversation had been hovering for months in uncomfortable silences. A safer place. Someone to help you out. A senior living community. Soft words to say the same thing. They no longer trusted me to manage on my own. After my wife Helen passed away 3 years ago, I was alone for the first time in 48 years of marriage. 48 years of sharing breakfast, small arguments, Sundays at the farmer's market, and walks through the park. And suddenly, silence. At first I did just fine. I cooked my own meals, nothing fancy. I did my laundry, I paid my bills. The house was quiet, but I told myself it was a well-deserved peace. Then, things changed. Slowly. Without a sound. I'd get winded climbing the stairs. My hands would tremble when I tried to open a jar. I'd walk into a room and forget why I went in. One morning I slipped getting out of the shower. I caught the wall just in time. I didn't fall. But that night, lying in the dark, I thought, what if next time I can't catch myself? What if no one finds me for days? That's when I called Michael and asked if I could stay at his place for a while. He agreed immediately. My daughter-in-law Julia was kind. My grandkids Caleb and Olivia seemed happy to have their grandpa around. The first week was good. Family dinners, laughter, feeling like I was still part of something. But reality doesn't take long to show up. They work. The kids have school, soccer practice, piano lessons. By the second week I was back to being alone most of the day, only now it was in someone else's house. The comments started to slip out like little pebbles in your shoe. "Dad, can you turn the volume down? We're going to be out all day Saturday, will you be okay?" They weren't being cruel, they were just living their lives, and I unintentionally was taking up space. One night I heard Michael talking to his sister on the phone. "I know it's the right thing to do, but I'm exhausted. I can't even go out without worrying." I shouldn't have heard that. But I did. And I understood something few people say out loud. Living with family doesn't always ease the loneliness. Sometimes it amplifies it, because you're surrounded by people and still feel invisible. After 3 months, I went back to my house in Queens. Michael was worried, but I insisted. I needed my own space. I needed to stop feeling like a burden. The relief was short-lived. The stairs were steeper. Cooking tired me out. I dropped things. One afternoon, trying to change a light bulb, my hands were shaking so badly I had to sit down. I just stared at that dead bulb, wondering if this was how the end of autonomy began. I looked into home care for a few hours a week. The first caregiver was efficient, a good person. But it was strange having someone reorganize my kitchen, moving my things. And then came the bills. Almost $5,000 a month for part-time care. My Social Security only covered a fraction of it. The rest came out of my savings, and it wasn't just the numbers. I wash my dishes right after I eat. She preferred to leave them for later. I fold my towels a certain way. She had her own method. It was my house, but it wasn't entirely mine anymore. Then she had a family emergency. Someone else came. Then another. Each time I had to explain where everything went, how I liked things, what I needed. I got tired of it. I canceled the service. Then Michael found an assisted living facility up in Westchester. Clean, good reviews, medical staff on site. "Just try it for a month, Dad." I agreed because I was tired of making decisions alone. The room was adequate, small and spotless, but it wasn't a home. The schedule was rigid. Breakfast at 7:30, lunch at noon, dinner at 5. I've never eaten dinner at 5 o'clock in my life. I like to read late, but at 9, they'd turn off the hallway lights. If they saw a light under your door, they'd knock. "Mr. Miller, it's time to rest." Time to rest. After 81 years of making my own decisions, someone was telling me when to sleep. One night I wanted to step outside for some fresh air. They stopped me. "Outside access ends at 7 p.m. It's a security policy." Security. That word had become a cage. I wasn't that sick. I could walk. I could think clearly. but I was living as if I'd already lost all control. 3 weeks in, I called Michael. "Son, this isn't living." I came home. The sun seemed brighter, but the challenges were still there. And then something unexpected happened. Walking to the little corner grocery store, I ran into my neighbor, Patricia, a single mom, always in a hurry. She was on the phone, sounding distressed. "I can't leave early again. My boss already wrote me up." She hung up and sighed like someone about to break. Without thinking, I spoke up. "If you ever need someone to pick up your daughter from school, I walk by there every day." She looked at me surprised. "I wouldn't want to be a bother, Mr. Miller." "It's no bother when I'm the one offering." That's how it all started. The next day I picked up 7-year-old Beatrice. She talked the whole way home. A few nights later, Patricia started leaving food for me. She helped me pay my bills online. She set up grocery delivery for the heavy stuff. A neighbor fixed my leaky faucet. They changed that light bulb I couldn't manage. Beatrice started taping her drawings to my refrigerator. She called me Grandpa Arthur, even though I wasn't her grandpa. One night, Patricia told me, "You changed our lives. I was drowning." I smiled. "And you changed mine." I had forgotten what it felt like to be useful. That's what was missing. I didn't need someone to do everything for me. I needed to keep mattering. I'm not saying this is the solution for everyone. Maybe some people need more care, maybe living with family works for others. But I learned something. There aren't just two options: total independence or absolute dependence. There's a space in between. You can accept help without losing control. You can contribute without burning out. I spent thousands on services and felt alone. Now I spend almost nothing and feel more connected than I have in years. Money buys assistance. It doesn't buy belonging. I'm 81 years old. I live alone in Queens, but I'm not alone. I'm still useful. I'm still here. I'm still Arthur. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tell us what city you're watching from. We'll be right back. I promise this is going to be the best story you'll ever hear. In the months that followed, my life found a rhythm I hadn't known in years. It wasn't the old routine, from when Helen was here, and everything had its proper place. This was different, lighter, more alive. Picking up Beatrice from school became the highlight of my day. She'd always come running out when she saw me, her backpack bouncing, a wide grin on her face. "Grandpa Arthur, my teacher talked about you today." "You? About me?" She asked who picks me up, and I told her it was my borrowed grandpa. Borrowed grandpa, I liked that. Patricia and I developed a sort of silent agreement. She didn't insist on paying me. I didn't insist on refusing the food she left. Sometimes it was a Tupperware container with beef stroganoff. Other times a still warm loaf of cornbread. Once, she left a note stuck to the lid. "Thank you for being you, Mr. Miller." I kept that note in my dresser drawer, next to the old letters Helen wrote me when we were dating. But it wasn't just them who changed my life. The whole neighborhood started to reveal itself in a way I'd never noticed. Mr. Wallace, who owns the bakery, always saved me a warm, crusty loaf. Mrs. Celia from the newsstand set aside the crossword puzzle for me. Ryan, a young guy who lives 3 houses down, started teaching me how to really use my smartphone. "Mr. Miller, you don't have to shout when you text. You can just type normally." I didn't even know I was shouting. All caps is like shouting online. I learned. And I started sending messages to my grandkids without sounding like I was mad at them. But not everything was easy. There were days I woke up with my back hurting so much I could barely get out of bed. There was a morning I forgot to take my blood pressure medication and only remembered when Patricia asked if I was okay, because my face was flushed. There was an afternoon when the loneliness hit just as hard, even with the fridge covered in Beatrice's drawings. Getting old doesn't stop hurting just because you've found a purpose. The difference was that now, the pain didn't come alone. One day, Beatrice came home from school quieter than usual. She sat on the couch swinging her little legs, staring at the floor. "What's wrong, kiddo?" "Grandpa Arthur, the lady at school said everyone has to have a mom and a dad. But I only have a mom." My chest tightened. "You know what I think? I think family isn't just who lives in the same house, it's who takes care of you, who shows up, who stays." She looked at me with those big eyes full of a mix of doubt and hope. "So you're my family?" I sure am. If you'll have me. She jumped into my lap and hugged me so tight she nearly knocked me out of my chair. And right there, holding that little girl who wasn't my granddaughter by blood but was mine by heart, I understood something no one had taught me in 81 years. You don't grow old alone for a lack of people. You grow old alone when you stop caring about others. But life has a way of testing you right when you think you've got it all figured out. It was a Thursday. I had just picked up Beatrice and we were walking home when a wave of dizziness hit me. Everything went blurry. My legs gave out. I leaned against a lamppost. "Grandpa Arthur, are you okay?" Her voice sounded far away. I tried to answer, but the words wouldn't come out right. She dropped her backpack and ran to the bakery, shouting, "Mr. Wallace, Grandpa Arthur's not feeling well." I don't remember much of what happened next. I know Mr. Wallace helped me sit down. That someone called Patricia, that she came running, leaving everything at work. That they took me to the ER. The doctors said it was my blood pressure. That I'd forgotten to take my medication again. That at my age any slip-up could be dangerous. I was admitted for 2 days of observation, and for those 2 days, my hospital room became a meeting point. Patricia came every day after work, bringing Beatrice with her. Ryan showed up with his laptop to show me how to stream movies. Mrs. Celia sent a fruit basket. Mr. Wallace brought cheese danishes. Even Michael, my son, was surprised when he arrived and saw so many people. "Dad, I didn't know you knew so many people." Neither did I. But the truth is, I did know them. I had just forgotten to pay attention. When I was discharged, Patricia made a proposal. "Mr. Miller, I know you value your independence, but we could start a little group chat, just to let everyone know you're okay. Every morning, just a hello. If you don't send one, we'll come looking." I thought I'd feel watched, but I didn't. I felt cared for. I joined the group. Its name? The Neighborhood Network. It had me, Patricia, Ryan, Mrs. Celia, Mr. Wallace, and about 5 other neighbors. Every morning everyone sent a hello. Sometimes someone asked for help. Sometimes someone offered something. Sometimes they just sent cat pictures. But it worked. And it was there, in that back and forth of messages, shared meals, and favors big and small, that I realized the truth no one told me when I got old. There's no such thing as aging alone or aging with company. There's aging in isolation or aging in connection. I had tried everything. Living with family, hiring help, moving to a facility. All those options had one thing in common. Someone taking care of me. Someone solving things for me. Someone deciding for me. But what I needed wasn't someone to live my life for me. It was people to live it with me. Today, 6 months after that scare, I still live alone. I still have my quirks, my schedule, my house just the way I like it. But I'm not isolated. Beatrice still tapes drawings to my fridge. Patricia still leaves food. Ryan taught me how to call an Uber. Mrs. Celia invites me to play rummy on Saturday afternoons. Mr. Wallace hired me to do the simple bookkeeping for the bakery, because he found out I'd worked with numbers for 40 years. I contribute, I matter, I belong, I'm not a burden, I'm not a problem to be solved. I'm part of something bigger. Michael still worries, but now he gets it. He called last week. "Dad, I was wrong. You didn't need a safer place. You needed a place that was more yours." He understood, and so did I. I'm 81 years old. I live alone in Queens. The stairs still tire me out. My hands still shake. My memory still slips. But I'm not afraid. Because I've learned that aging with dignity isn't about not needing anyone. It's about building a network where everyone needs everyone else. Where everyone looks out for everyone else. Where no one is a burden, and everyone is a bridge. Money solves problems. Connection solves loneliness. I'm Arthur Miller. I'm 81 years old, and I've finally figured out how to live.